A video circulating on social media shows an altercation during an arrest. It happened yesterday in Pamlico County. Pamlico County Sheriff Chris Davis released a statement today describing the circumstances surrounding the incident. News 12's Elena Laster is in the live center tonight. And Elena, you spoke with not only Sheriff Davis, but also the suspect's brother.
I did, Val. Sheriff Chris Davis stuck by his statement earlier this morning that Darrell Wayne was actively resisting arrest at the time of the altercation. But I also spoke with Wayne's younger brother, who doesn't quite agree.
This footage captured on a doorbell camera has been circulating social media, showing a Pamlico County deputy punching Darrell Wayne and shoving him against a vehicle so hard that the car alarm goes off.
Of course, he might have been a little mouthy. There was never any physical altercation inside the house. There was never any, it was never anything. It was just never no nothing.
That was Ahmaud Wayne, Darrell Wayne's younger brother, and he says that his brother did not deserve this.
It was ego-driven or like a power move, I can say. Like it was just a power to it.
Sheriff Chris Davis released a statement on Facebook of the district attorney and the State Bureau of Investigation. Davis says that this is not Wayne's first run-in with the law, and that he actively resisted arrests in and out of the home, where he proceeded to assault law enforcement, and that is when the altercation took place. After the arrest, Wayne was transported to the sheriff's office, then Carolina East for medical evaluation.
He's always been taught. There's never been no instances, even in any of his arrest or whatever the case may be, there's never been no instance where it was he bucked up on a government official, no nothing.
Ahmaud was not at the scene, but says that he was one of the first people his brother called and told him his side of the story, telling him that he would never resist, and even claiming the officer called him a racial slur.
He can't even remember what he was saying, but he do know that he said he tested the officer. Oh, he tested the officer, as you can see in the video, and the officer says something, called him the N-word.
Ahmaud says that even with the warrant out for his brother's arrest, he shouldn't have been treated this way, and officers should act as peacekeepers.
I don't feel like that force was necessary. There's nothing in the video. There's nothing that required him to punch my brother while handcuffed, slam him while handcuffed, and proceeded to elbow him while he was on the ground. So I just hope they can do something about that.
I spoke with Sheriff Davis after this interview with Mr. Wayne, and he told me that the case is now in the hands of the district attorney and SBI, reiterating his statement from earlier in the day. We looked up Darrell Wayne's criminal history. The charges of an assault on a minor under 12 was the cause of Wednesday's arrest, which led to more charges of resisting an officer. He also has a history beyond this case, however. This includes felony larceny and breaking and entering with the intent to terrorize. Those cases from February of this year. First-degree trespassing from 2018 and more. We will continue to follow this case and update you as we learn more. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Elena Laster, News 12.
All right, peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. And here we have another incident of clear-cut police brutality, police terrorizing, police assault on an individual who is clearly handcuffed and at the time not resisting. And I'm going to play that video again where you see the officer straight up punch Mr. Darrell Wayne in the face. And as he punched him one time, Darrell Wayne turned around, he punched him again, and then he threw him so hard into the car that you can actually see the car move. And then the car alarm went off. And even further, he belly to back suplex for all my wrestling fans out there. He belly to back suplex the man into the ground, causing further assault to this man. And you see the criminalization of the victim, or the suspect, as they put it in the news article, as they review his charges. which have nothing to do with the clear-cut assault on this man. And as the brother, shout out to my brother Ahmad Wayne, saying that, yeah, he probably was a little mouthy. And you can see the only thing he did or said to that officer was probably something called the officer a name or called him soft or, whatever. And that officer just hauls off and punches him. And just like the young brother said, it was ego driven. And like I've mentioned in several of these videos, a lot of these officers have very small egos. They probably were, bullied or unpopular in school. But what disturbs me further is the statement that is released. And I'm going to show you that statement and see how they are trying to justify, once again, this clear-cut beating. This is the statement that was released by Chris Davis, said on Wednesday, March the 19th, 2025, the Pamlico County Sheriff's Office went to the residence of Darrell Wayne to serve an arrest warrant for child abuse after a video of Wayne slapping a 3-year-old child circulated our community. Upon arrival, deputies were met by a female that disclosed Wayne was not at the residence. After a search of the home, Wayne was located inside the residence. Pamlico County deputies were familiar with Wayne from previous incidents. During the arrest, Wayne was actively resisting. Once outside of the residence, Wayne again attempted to assault law enforcement at which time an altercation took place. After the arrest, Wayne was transported to the Pamlico Sheriff's Office. Wayne was transported to Carolina East for medical evaluation and brought back to the Pamlico County Detention Facility. Pamlico County Sheriff Chris Davis has asked District Attorney Scott Thomas to review the case. The Pamlico County Sheriff's Office will cooperate with the investigation, and no further statements will come from the Sheriff's Office regarding this case. And that is the justification of this, talking about the man was actively resisting at the time that the altercation took place. So let's take a look back at this video and see if he was actively resisting at the time of the quote unquote altercation, which basically is an assault on a handcuffed individual while in custody.
His statement earlier this morning that Darrell Wayne was actively resisting arrest at the time of the altercation. But I also spoke with Wayne's younger brother, who doesn't quite agree.
This footage captured on a doorbell camera has been circulating social media, showing a Pamlico County deputy punching Darrell Wayne and shoving him against a vehicle so hard that the car alarm goes off.
Okay.
Now let's look at that one more time in case you, like I, missed him actively resisting.
Your brother, who doesn't quite agree.
This footage captured on a doorbell camera has been circulating social media, showing a Pamlico County deputy punching Darrell Wayne and shoving him against a vehicle so hard that the car alarm goes off.
Of course, he might have been a little mouthy.
All right, so that's all I can take of it, because just seeing it wants me to go find that officer and once again get him out of his police clothes, because the only time they do that is when you're handcuffed. You can see the man just say something to the officer, and the officer hits him with all of his might, can't even drop him, mind you, hits him twice, slams him into the police car, and then body slams him, and then gives him an elbow to the back while he's on the ground. In that video, there's no way that anyone can say that that is justified or that the young man was even resisting. And the brother went on to further state that the officer somehow or sometime during that altercation called him the N-word. And you can tell, he does look like, what they would call a redneck or a lumberjack or, trailer park track, whatever the case may be, man. That officer is out of line, and the whole system is out of line. That is going to continue to allow these things to occur until somebody does something about it. And as the brother say, the police officers are supposed to be peacekeepers, but nothing in that interaction at all looked peaceful. And so, you know, if you guys want to call the Pamlico Sheriff's Office and put pressure on them, but you know, there's no reason for that. Like I stated before, nobody's going to be happy until people start pot off at the police. And if you know what that means, then you know what that means. But and then when that happens, oh, it's going to be, oh, why are people popping off at the police? And flags will be flown, half staff, and you know, all the 721 gun salutes will be blown. But you would have to go back and look at incidents like this to see, okay, well, you know, this is why, because people are, you know, fed up with watching these things. So until police start respecting, you know, citizens, then, you know, anything that happens to them, you know, I don't feel sorry for them. You know, there was a case in Virginia Beach where, you know, two police officers got knocked off. I mean, I felt nothing because out of all the people that I've seen police knock off and nothing is done. So, you know, I can't, I'm desensitized, you know, to the violence one way or the other. So there has to be some sort of resolution. There has to be some sort of answer to eradicate these things. If police officers start getting punished, lose their jobs, going to jail, then we will see these things stop. But until, you know, people like Goldsboro Police Department, who we had a similar incident with Talik Carter, just came out and said, well, no, the force was justified. Until police departments start doing something about it, then these officers will continue to have the green light to assault people. And as one council member said, who spoke out against our incident here, she said, no matter what, people should still be safe even when they're being arrested. Now, I don't agree with him slapping a young child, allegedly, let's say that. But once again, the arrest is punishment for the crime, not an extra beating by the people who are supposed to be arresting you. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings.